We have much more gas than we have crude. In fact, there's enough gas in Nigeria to heat Europe until...
Welcome to Echoes of Grace.
According to Paul, the condition of the Galatian believers had no other source but bewitchment. And this is Paul saying that a local assembly was bewitched. Have you ever been part of a local congregation that obviously was under bewitchment before? Have you experienced that? All right. You know, sometimes we experience some things and we know that those things are valid, but then we now come to church and say, there's no enchantment against Jacob. Meanwhile, you are living in it. You are enchanted yourself. Oh, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? That he should not obey the truth. These guys knew the truth, but they refused to obey the truth. And in the estimation of Apostle Paul, the only reason why that situation is like that is that there is some form of bewitchment. These guys in the congregation in the Galatian church were there physically when Jesus was crucified. They should have understood better the implication or the judicial implication of the death, burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, they have been present when Jesus was strung up that tree and crucified was not enough impetus to get them to obey the truth of the word of God. And the diagnosis of the apostle was that they were what? Bewitched. An entire congregation can be bewitched. A territory can be bewitched, as I will show you in a moment of time. As we move to the book of Acts of the Apostles, I'm going to show you that an entire territory can be under a spell. An entire nation can be under a spell. It's not so long that I retired from the oil industry in Nigeria. I still have some statistics on my fingertips. National consumption of PMS, premium motor spirit, per day is 60 million liters. 60 million liters is what we consume in terms of petrol per day. That's what we consume per day. We consume 30 million liters of diesel per day, 18 million liters of kerosene per day. Based on that figure, we can do a lot of projections. We can plan for PMS for 3 months, plan supplies, plan distributions, because that figure is a product of a lot of data. And if you plan along that line, that's what determines that there will be no queue at the pumps. If statistics means anything, and I think it does, some of our richest years, that is in terms of petroleum, crude oil production, and all of those indices that collocate to reveal our gross domestic product as a nation, suggests that our tapped wealth in terms of, you know, you think Nigeria is a nation of crude. It's not true. Nigeria is a nation of gas. We have much more gas than we have crude. In fact, there's enough gas in Nigeria to heat Europe until Jesus comes back. I'm just trying to give you an idea of our wealth. Kogi State, that is like a slum, has 37 viable mineral resources. You will not believe that Kogi State has the highest deposit of mineral resources in Nigeria. The God of heaven that created Nigeria never intended that any Nigerian will be poor. So he made available so many resources, and we are still discovering resources that God hid in the earth to make for our prosperity. So how can you explain our condition? We are, I'm just trying to say we are under witchcraft. I know you are not aware, but we are bewitched. May the Lord give you understanding. So, witchcraft can be on a national level. Witchcraft can be on a territorial level. So much wealth, but the poverty is terrible. The poverty is so much that right now, I don't know, it seems a new set of demons have been released. And teenagers are ritualists now. We went to a certain country, and just because they saw us with a Nigerian passport, we were suspects. We were suspects. Why? Because of the green. They saw the green passport. were suspects already. Those are signs of curses. Meanwhile, there are smaller nations that you don't even know their names. If their passports come there, the people receive the kind of courtesies befitting of wonderful citizens of this generation. There is a stench that travels with anything that bears the name of our nation. And you think we are bewitched. And in fact, our bewitchment began many years ago. It's just that we have become so used to it that we don't know how liberty looks like. A friend of mine used to work for the United Nations in Abuja, and a luncheon was organized, and the honorable members of our Senate were invited. So after the luncheon, there was food, a buffet, and some senators will take eba, and put it in handbag. We need prayer. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you the report that came out. I don't want to call the name of the person. Very close person. I think all of you here know the person that worked with UN, and this is a direct report that came out. You will now know that in the eyes of those people that you hail, let's stop there. The nation needs, that's why we are calling for prayers massively. The Lord might look upon us with mercy and save us. Some of you here that are privileged to have your parents still alive, and your parents maybe worked in public service in the 70s, the 60s. Almost all of them are sick, should be sick now. Because seeing this transition, they lived in the Nigeria that was a nation that was walking. It's traumatic to see what is happening now. We have tried to understand it from the standpoint of psychology. Maybe we need a psychological reboot. I've tried to understand it intellectually, but I can tell you it is spiritual. And it is the duty of our generation to break this jinx.
Thank you for watching this wonderful video. Please like, subscribe, and share. God bless you.